Hi everyone, my name is João Brazão. I'm a hosting partner technology strategist at Microsoft, working with our hosting partners across Western Europe. Today on this session for Insight, we'll take 10 minutes to give a quick overview about what's new in storage for Windows Server 2012 R2. Windows Server 2012 R2 includes a lot of enhancements in storage. In this screen you can see the new and improved when compared to Windows Server 2012. One of the most significant improvements is storage tiering, the ability to create volumes with a mix of solid-state disks and traditional spinning hard disk drives. Getting a bit more detail into the hybrid storage pools and tiered storage, the data tiering. The idea behind this is to create storage pools that are a mix of solid-state drives and hard disk drives. These then are combined into a single space where you can then create multiple drives or multiple virtual hard drives. The operating system also keeps a record of what's the hot data and what's the cold data. That means that if a file is accessed multiple times for read or for write, it will be kept at the solid-state drives, while data that is not so often accessed will be moved automatically into the hard disk drives. This creates that data that needs to be accessed more often to have faster response times. It is also important to notice that hot regions of a file can be placed in a fast drive, while other parts of the same file can go into the slower spinning disks, for instance a VHD or a database. A few more storage enhancements. In terms of online VHDX size, this is a familiar tool for every Windows administrator, so the disk administration tool. If a customer needs to shrink or to expand the volume, you can just ask the service provider to get that. So from the tool you can release space by shrinking the volume, the partition, or if the service provider gets more space available, he can then extend the same partition. Note that this is only applicable to SCSI virtual disks. On the storage key OS, there's the ability to throttle storage IOPS that are assigned to a specific VHD or VHDX. This will prevent a single VM from consuming all the I/O bandwidth. So there will be a maximum IOPS cap, so the VHD cannot exceed that maximum IOPS no matter which capacity it's available. When we get all this together, storage tiering, data deduplication, resiliency options, pooling of disks, continuous availability, persistent write-back cache, SMB copy offloads and snapshots, you see that Windows Server then gets into the space of the traditional storage or storage area networks. However, this will benefit from the fact that Windows is a software product that is not dependent on proprietary hardware or proprietary technology to deal with the storage on disks. So costs and compared with performance are highly reduced. So when you compare the traditional storage on Fibre Channel storage area network or a iSCSI storage area network, you see that the cost of acquisition for Windows is much less than the average cost in the market. Note, however, that this is the acquisition cost. Typically, if you're expanding, just adding disks to an existing storage, the difference won't be so high, but still will be significant. Then when you get into how does the performance compares between Windows-based storage and traditional Fibre Channel or iSCSI storage area networks, you see that spaces over SMB without any add-ons from the hardware side will perform slightly worse than the traditional storage. However, when you put an RDMA card into the table, thus giving higher throughput, you can see that actually a Windows-based storage solution gets better response times, either in terms of transactions per second or in the number of seconds for average transaction response. How can a service provider take advantage of these enhancements? So there are a couple of offerings that can be changed, and these are just a few ideas. You can provide a storage performance add-on to your customers. So when the customer selects a storage platform, you can select the standard storage running on slower storage network, or you can choose a storage area network with the tiering of disks, those being the enhanced storage solution. And because we're talking about a fully software-based solution, moving from one to the other, it's relatively easy. So at any time, the customer can decide to migrate his data to a faster performing storage. Another example is the IOPS-based class of service. So you can use the IOPS cap to provide differentiated services that can control storage throttling. Also, when you're doing dedicated solutions for customers or building private clouds to your customers, sometimes they ask for dedicated storage solutions. So being able to quickly deliver those dedicated storage based on software gives you the flexibility and the cost advantage and time to market that no other solution can provide. And finally, a simple service is the dynamic storage on the VM, where the customer can at any time increase or shrink the allocated storage to a specific VM and be charged accordingly. To create a tiered storage on Windows Server 2012 R2, first we look at a set of disks that can take part of a storage space. You see here on the physical disks tab on the right side, all the available drives that we have, all the physical disks that are connected to our host. These are automatically identified by the operating system as being either solid-state disks or hard disk drives. To create this new storage pool, just select New Storage Pool, Next, type in a name, and after you do it, you can select Create Storage Tiers on this virtual disk. Press Next, then you choose also the storage layout, whether you need mirroring for resiliency or you can just rely on a simple volume. In our case, we're going to select Mirror, and we'll take advantage of the enhanced mirroring capabilities, providing the strongest protection against disk failures. Then on the provisioning type, we can only select fixed, so thin provisioning is not available in combination with tiered storage. And then we need to specify the size for the virtual disk. The Windows operating system identifies the faster tier set of disks and the standard tier. We can select a specific size, or if we just want to use all the available space, we just type in the maximum size. Once you've selected the appropriate size, notice that is the combination between the two tiers. Click Next and review your options. Once you're happy with the result, just click Create, and after a few seconds, it will be done. So how do we see the performance of a storage pool made of a hybrid set of disks compared to a traditional pool made of only hard disk drives? We'll have to use this SQL loads test utility that can test the IOPS either on a direct attached storage, remote file storage, or a bit more ahead in this demo, on a Windows Server 2012 R2 running with a tiered storage. Let's begin our benchmark. After a few seconds, you're taken to the final result. See here that remote file storage running on an SMB file server. It has slightly less performance than the direct attached storage for the same type of disks, and this is because of the network overhead. Now, if you do the same testing on a Windows Server 2012 R2 running with a remote file storage with tiering, you have to consider that most reads and writes will be absorbed by the solid-state drives, as long as the capacity allows for that. And the result for that, it's a massive improvement into performance. That is about 20 times the performance of a traditional disk array on only spinning disks. That's it for today. We hope you enjoyed this quick demo and that the storage on Windows Server can benefit you and give you more advantage into deploying storage solution for your customers. Thank you and see you next time.